Hello, hello. Anybody here yet? Hello, hello, and meow. Meow, 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 meow. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Meow, 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 meow. Hi, Ganache. I just wait for some peeps to come in. Yes, that's what I'm doing, my baby girl. Yes, it is. And just waiting for some people before I start my tutorial. This is stitch tutorial number 9. And we're going to be working on the bullion knot, which I have demonstrated here. This is a rosebud. This is a little bit bigger rosebud starting to bloom, and then this is the rose. I haven't finished it yet, but this is the rose itself. Last week we did a rose too. We did a cast-on rose. I was demonstrating that one last week. This week it's going to be the bullion rose. I'm still waiting for a few people to show up. I have some regulars that show up. I'll wait just a little bit longer. Oh, there's Marty. You're just watching tonight, Pam? Okay, that's fine. How are you, Martini Reenie? How are you? How are you? Not a problem. We're doing a bullion knot tonight, Marty. I think you've been wanting to learn the bullion stitch for a while, and that's what we're going to do tonight, the bullion stitch. I'm actually doing pretty good tonight. Why? Hello, hello, meow, meow, meow. I'm just waiting for some people to show up. I get pretty well talked out during my prompt along. I don't know what else to say. Soup broth. Oh, I still have black ink on my nails. Black ink and orange, which makes my mauve look sick. Guess everybody's a little bit late tonight, but that's okay. Bouillon is a soup broth. Yes, it is. Soup broth stitch. Oh, okay. I get it now. Duh. Except you know what? They spell it B-U, not B-O-U. They just spell it B-U-L-I-L-L-I-O-N. B-U-L-L-I-O-N. I've always spelled it B-O-U-L-L-I-O-N. I don't know if that's because I'm French or what, but soup broth stitch. Yes, 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 yes. I get it now. I'm slow. I'm silly. Yeah, you can. Replayers are always welcome. A little bit slow on the uptake. Oops. Yep, 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 yep. Well, it looks like it's just the two of you this evening. Yes, yes, yes. This is the two of you this evening. Oh, that's all right. I'm okay with that. All right, well, let's begin. If you want. This one's kind of a tricky one. The bouillon knot is kind of a tricky one. You need a bit of a longer needle, and it needs to be the same width from the eye to the point, or else you're going to have a hard time pulling your needle and your thread through the knot. We'll be quietly stitching. Okay. So be aware of that with your needle. And I'm actually using all 6 strands tonight of my dental floss. Eh boy. I'm still as corny. Man, I got mail that gets married, and now I'm working with dental floss. I just don't know. I just don't know. 6 strands of embroidery floss. Oh my gosh. A fattish worm. Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so you're going to come up from the back at A, and then as long as you want your stitch to be is where you're going to pierce the fabric at B and come back up at A. Like so. I got really clean teeths. My toothes is good. Yeah, I got really bad teethuses. The flossing is the only thing that's really healthy about my teeth. Nothing else is. They're all broken. Okay. So, how long you want your stitch to be, again, is how is where you're going to pierce your fabric at B and come through at A again, but not all the way through. Okay. Then you're going to hold your needle up and wrap your thread around your needle, and you'll be able to notice the size, the length of the stitch that you want as you wrap it. You can see that the length there is pretty much the length here. And if you want a straight bullion knot, that's what you want to do. You want to make the amount of bullion the length of the stitch. Does that make sense? Pam, did that make sense to you? Marty, did that make sense? Oh, Marty, I already cut it and everything. I forgot. I forgot you don't like Pukal. Yeah, sorta. Okay. Yeah, that's what I've got for tonight. I'm sorry, honey. Okay, then you want to hold the coil that you just made between your pointer finger and your thumb, and you want to gently ease the needle and the thread through. Up away from you. Okay, up away from you, and then you're going to pull it forward towards you. And that gives you your little bullion knot. Just like that. Isn't it cute? Marty says it'd be cuter if it were yellow. So there's Stacy. Hello, Stacy May. Meow. Think of it as faded black. To make another one, I'll show you again. Let me finish this stitch. There. So you come up at A. A fat little purple worm squash. So you come up at A. Oops, I got a knot in the back here. Hang on a second. I guess I should have used a different color. Purple's going to give me fits. There we go. All right. So you come up from the back at A. However long you want your stitch to be is where you're going to pierce your fabric at B and then come back up at A. Like so, but don't pull the needle all the way through. Just pierce the fabric and bring it partially through. Hold the needle up and coil your thread around your needle. Again, you'll see as you coil, your coils, you want to stop coiling when you see that your coils are the same length as your stitch length. If you want a straight bullion knot, then that's what you want to do. You want to stop right there. You're going to hold it between your finger and your thumb gently, allowing the needle and the thread to come through away from you till you get the slack out, and then towards you. Pull towards you and hold in place with your thumb. Pull towards you. And that makes your neat little bullion knot. Any questions? Any questions so far besides the color? Okay. Then to end your knot, and you do this after every bullion knot you make, you go right straight down through the fabric, and that holds your knot in place. Now, to make a little rosebud like one of these, it's just a little one and then a little hint bigger one, bullion knot next to each other. So again, you're going to come up from the back at A, however long you want your stitch to be, go down at B, and come up at A. And that's how long your bullion knot is going to be. Okay. So we're going to coil, hold, pull the slack away, and then hold in place and tug forward to get the rest of it. Yeah, a great big piece of cat hair right there. Then finish the stitch by going down at B. Now the other stitch right next to it, down just a little bit, not much. Coil your thread. I'm just going to do it 3 times this time. Hold, pull the slack away, then hold it in place and pull it towards you to get the rest of it in place. Oop. I did a oops. Okay, I got it. There we go. It's back. And finish the stitch. Then you'll come around here and do a fly stitch. Does anybody remember the fly stitch? You'll do that in green. But remember the fly stitch? It's kind of like a wide open chain stitch. You'll come up, go around at the opposite side, go down to the back, and at the very base of the bud, come up on top of your loop. And go down. Hi, Angela. How are you, dear? Now, if that were green, that would look much more like a bud than using it all in purple, but I'm running out of green. I didn't have enough to show the tutorial. Does everybody understand that so far? Okay. So now, we've learned how to do the knot. We've learned how to put 2 of the knots together to create a bud. And now we're going to create an almost open, but not quite, rosette. So what you'll want to do, and I can probably show you this better than demonstrate it because it would take forever to demonstrate. Come on, focus. Is you make your 2 center ones, your 2 bullion knots to make your bud like we just did. Then you make a third knot on the left and make it just a little bit longer than your bud. You're going to come up at A right next to your bud and a little bit further down with the B and come back up at A. Hi, Beth. How are you? Okay, so let me get the bud made and then I'll show you how to continue because we've already done the bud. We've done the knot. We've made the bud. So let me get the bud made and then I'll show you how to continue from there. So you come up at A. As long as I want the stitches B, come back through at A. Wrap, wrap, wrap 3, maybe one more, 4. As many coils as long as the stitch you hold with your finger and your thumb. You pull through the slack away from you. Oops, I let it go too soon. And then hold it towards you to get the rest of it, to tighten it up. I let it go too soon and it loosened up a little bit, but that's all right. We can work with that. We just rub it in a little bit. There we go. Finish the knot. First half of the bud. The second part of the bud. Come up at A. Down at B, the length that you want, and come back up at A. But don't go all the way through. Coil. 3, 4, I think I'll do 5 this time. Yeah, it's about right. 5. Pull the slack away from you. Then draw it forward. with your finger on it and pull it tight. Finish your stitch. It's just a squishing worm. And there's the butt, just like we did before. Now, to go on to create the wider part, or a little bit more open, you want to come to the left side of the bud, up just a little bit, make it just a little bit longer. Bring B down to the base, down here, just a little bit longer. And back up to A. You want to hold your needle in place. Don't go all the way through. Just hold it in place. I am... Funny you should ask, Angela. If you'd asked me earlier, I said I was using dental floss. But now that I am in my right mind, I am using 6 strands of embroidery floss. You almost said dental floss. Okay, so here we are again. We're wrapping the coil. We're coiling the floss, the thread right around the needle. And remember, we want to do as many coils. We want to make the length of the coils the length of the stitch that we created for a straighter coil. Now, since this we want to have curve out a little bit, we want to add a few extra coils. We want to make the coils a little bit longer than the allowance of the stitch, and that will make the coil bow out just a hair. It'll make it curve just a little bit. Once you have your coils on again, between your finger and your thumb, you gently pull the slack away from you till you feel it stop. Keep your finger on it, pull it towards you, and pull it taut. And there you go. That is just ever so slightly curved. Just ever so slightly curved. I hope everybody can see that well enough. Hold on. And then you finish off your stitch by going down to the back. And there you are with ever so slightly curved. Now we work on the other side. You come up at A. You're going to come down at B, right next to where the other one was. Not under it, but next to it. And then back to A. You can pierce the fabric at B and go back to A. Oh, thanks for putting everybody's channel up. That's great. I would not use embroidery floss to clean my teeth either. Yuck. Okay. So again, we want this to curve around our bud just a little bit. So we're going to make it just a little bit longer, with the coil, that is, it being the coil. So you're going to coil either way, front to back or back to front, doesn't matter. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's a little bit longer than my stitches. I'm going to hold the coil between my finger and my thumb. I'm going to take the needle and gently slide, pulling the slack away from me. When you feel it tight, you then bring it forward, hold it down, and tighten it. And there is your little curved bullion stitch. And now you've made a slightly wider open bud. So it's more of a little rosette now as opposed to a bud. And with this one in green now, see, I didn't have any green, so I used pink on this one, and I'll use purple on this one. But in green, you would do the same thing. A little mini menorah. Oh, so cute. And this one, instead of doing the fly stitch to make the calyx, see this one, we made the fly stitch around the bud to make the calyx, which should have been in green, but I don't have green, so I used purple. Okay, this one you're going to use 2 short, very short green bullion knots right underneath what you've done. So let me get real close and show you. So from like a third of the way up, half a way to third of the way up to B, you'll make 1 green one. And then from here, half of the way to a third of the way up, down to here, which is your B, you'll make another one in green, and that will be your calyx on this one. It won't be the fly stitch. It'll be 2 more bullion knots, but they'll be in green. So does everybody understand so far? Yes, ma'am. Oh, please don't call me ma'am. This is not the military. Clear as mud? Oh, no. Oh, all right, Beth. You scared me. Okay, great. Now, see this little guy right here? There we go. See that little guy right there? He's nice and round, round and round. Isn't that cute? That's the beginnings of a rose. That's just like the first row, the center buds and the row. What I did for that is, instead of starting with a bud, when you want to make a rose, we start with 3 French knots to make the center, and then to make the center, 1, 2, 3 French knots, and then we start going around it. Remember, like we did with the cast on rose stitch? And each stitch before would cup the stitch previous a little bit, you're going to do the same thing with your bullion. You're going to start like a little bit up into the previous stitch and come down to make your bullion knot, and then you're going to come back a little bit and come around to make your bullion knot. So the previous stitch cups, your new stitch cups the end of your previous stitch. But we're not in the military. I'm not a drill sergeant. Don't need to call me ma'am. I'm not the boss. I'm just a teacher. This isn't parochial school. You don't have to call me ma'am. You like the softer look of the soup knot, huh? The soup knot is the bullion stitch in layman's terms, I guess. Okay, so what we do there is we start with a French knot. 1. Boy, these are going to be big French knots. Maybe I only need 2 because I'm using all 6 strands here. 2. Yep, I'm just going to use 2. All right. So you start with the French knots. Then you come up at A. And to make it easier on yourself, if you're right-handed, you're going to come up at A on the left. Work towards yourself to the right. If you are left-handed, you are going to come up at the right, work towards yourself to the left. Did everybody get that? Do I need to repeat that? But I'm right-handed, so I'm going to start at the left. I'm going to come up at A, right, very close to the, whoops, would help if I was on screen. Come up at A, very close to the French knots. Was I on screen at all when I just explained all that, or was I off screen? Did you understand what I was saying? Oh, okay. And you're going to come around. And remember that you want this to curve ever so slightly. So if you think 3 coils is the length of your stitch, put on 4, maybe 5 coils. So I'm going to come around. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do 1 more, maybe 2 more, 5. Yep, I'll do 2, 6. I'm going to hold. Whoops, I loosened it all up. I let it go. Wait a minute. Let me retighten it. See, look at that. See how easy that was to just retighten it? Okay, I'm going to hold that between my forefinger and my thumb. I'm going to pull the slack away from me until it stops. You'll feel it. Bring it forward and pull tight. And there you go. I'll bring it close so you can see it. It hugs right around your center bud of French knots. To end the knot, go straight down. Make that worm squishy. Oh no. I had a little Craft-A-Lanch over there of paper. That's why I didn't make any noise. Now, to make the next one, you turn your work a little bit. And you want to come up just a couple of coils into the previous stitch, the previous knot you just made. Wherever you want that next stitch to land, to end rather, is where you go, where you bring your needle down, pierce the fabric down, and then back up at A, down at B, up at A, and you can see underneath there, that side and that side, how long your stitch is, so you'll know how many coils to make. There's 3 coils, ought to be the same length as that stitch. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, pretty close. I'll do 4, 5, and I want it to curve a goodly amount because it's going to be tight in there. So I'm going to do 6. Make it just a little bit longer than what you want for a stitch length. That way it'll curve. Hold it with your fingers. Pull the needle through. Take up the slack until it stops. You'll feel it. Bring it back forward. Tighten it. And there's your second coil. Right there. Come on, focus. And there's your second coil. Cupping the end of the first coil. And to end your stitch, you go straight down. Oh, you must have missed that part. No, it does not, Beth. If you want to coil frontwards or you want to coil backwards, it makes no difference. However is going to feel more comfortable to you. Now, if you're left-handed or you're right-handed, now that makes a difference. If you're left-handed, you want to start on the right side, coil towards you, towards the left. Come back towards you, around, and to the left. If you're right-handed, you want to start on the left, coil down towards you, and work to the right. But to coil the thread around the needle, it doesn't matter if you do it backwards or frontwards. I hope either one of those answered your question. So we'll make the next coil, the next bullion. come up, just a couple of coils, right close. Okay, I hope so, Angela. Okay, and I want the stitch to come to about here, but I want it curved a little, so I know by now that I need to make more coils. So, Beth, to answer your question, I can go frontwards this way, from front to back, or I can go from back to front. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is good. 5 is good. 5 is just enough longer than the stitch I allowed for. It should curve around there nice and tight. I'm going to hold it with my fingers, my finger and thumb. I'm going to pull the slack till it's taut. Then I'm going to pull it in the opposite direction till it's taut. And there. Aw, isn't that cute? And the knot by going straight down. And this last coil should finish the first ring of rose petals. So we're going to come up just a couple of coils behind the previous stitch. And we want that coil to come to, about right here. Okay. So we go down at B, that's the length of the stitch that we want. That's where we want that coil to be, that rose petal that when we create it. When you start running out of thread, it gets a little fidgety, a little fiddly. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll do 5, 6, and maybe we'll do 7. We'll do 7. Hold, pull away, and then pull forward. And there we go. Look at that. Thank you, Jesus. The worms get longer. Yes, they do. Because as you go around, you continually want to cup the back end. See where my needle is? You continually want to cup the back end of the previous stitch. And you want to come around and encompass 1 to maybe a half a stitch. You want it to come around and be a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. There's Made by Pam. Hello, my dear. Yes, I did, and it worked beautifully on my cast-on rose. It is actually going to work beautifully on this rose as well. I don't think I only got it like around 2 o'clock this afternoon, so I don't know if I've seen you since then to tell you, but yes, I got it. And thank you so much for the little seahorse charm. Pam, that is the cutest little charm. I'm thinking I'm going to make a hair extension with it for the summer. It's absolutely adorable. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. So now, of course, we want this to curve all the way around here. But you notice A is here and B is here. And if you only put enough coils on, the shortest distance between two points is a straight line. It's not going to curve. So again, you have to put on more coils. Pull the needle up. You'll have to put on more coils to make sure that it curves all the way around to where you want it to go. I am not using the needle. I will be using the needle when I change thread. Because if you're using that really long needle for the really short areas, it's very, very awkward. So to do these short little areas, and the buds and whatnot that we started with, to do those short little coils, those short little bullions, is very, very awkward. There's a lot of needle there for the amount of space you have to work with. Now that I'm getting into the second row, the second ring rather, after the bud, I've got the first ring done. And now that I'm getting into that second ring where the petals will get larger and larger is where I need that longer needle. Let me show you that needle. Hold on. That needle is freaking huge. This is the needle compared to this one that I'm using. So they both start there, and the one that you gave me is way out here. The one I'm using is way back here. No, it's going to curve not because of where you're putting it. It's going to curve because of the amount of coils you're putting on it. You want it to curve. You want it to start at A and end at B, but because you want it to curve, you have to make it longer than just the distance between A and B. You kind of have to estimate how many coils it's going to take to actually do a curve. So, yeah, see the difference? If I was just doing these short little coils here, Pam, I was having too much time, and there was too much needle at the first part of it. Yes, I know you told me it was long, and that's exactly what I need. And I had to the eye is a little bit wider than the needle, so I have to not pull when I wrap the needle, I have to not pull it tight. I have to leave a little bit of slack into it so that the eye will go through, but it's a whole lot easier than the other one that I was using. The other one that I was using was, oh my gosh, I couldn't even get the needle through. And it was just a skinny little needle, but because the eye was so wide, I couldn't get the thread through. These two here, the eye is very close to the size of the needle, and it works very, very well. So yes, it's a very long needle, and it works. So let me see if I can wrap one more time with just the little amount of thread that I have. I don't know if I'll be able to, but we'll try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would get me from A to B in a straight line, but I don't want to go in a straight line. I want it to curve, so I have to add more coils. So 1, 2, 3 more ought to do it. Just 2 to 3 more in this row ought to do it. You pull slack away from you. Whoops. Don't tell me I got a knot. Okay, pull the slack away from you till it stops. And bring it forward and pull towards you till it's tight. And there. It goes right, it curves right around, right to where you want it to go. To end the knot, straight down to the back. And that, my friends, is how you do the bullion knot. Even though it's purple, it's still really cute, isn't it, Marty? Come on now, be honest. Okay, let me finish off this thread and get a new one so that you can see how I have to keep the stitches getting longer and longer. Okay. And so you can see the difference in the stitches. I'm going to use a lighter shade of purple, a paler shade of gray. And I'm going to use my long needle. Again, for demonstration, I'm using 6 strands of floss. Depending on what you're using, depending on the size of the project you're doing will depend on whether you want 6 strands or 3 strands. Okay, whoops, I almost forgot to put a knot at the end. I just remembered I have to put a knot at the end. Oh, my throat is getting really sore. This is going to have to be it for tonight here pretty soon, folks. My voice is getting really raw. All right. So now we want to come up at A, which again is just a few coils back towards the previous stitch. Be careful of that long needle as you're pulling it towards you. You don't want to poke yourself in your face. Don't ask me how I know that. Just don't ask me how I know that. Because I won't answer you. Can ask all you want, but I won't answer you. Okay, and then as long as you want that that stitch to be where you want it to come out is letter B. So you want to go down at B and back up at A. I'm not telling. I'm not telling nothing. A friend told me. How's that? A friend told me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is about the length from A to B. And I want it to curve. So we're going to go 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 looks good. Usually 2 to 3 extra coils does the trick. Okay, again. What's the next step? Pam, you're telling my secrets. Cut it out. Yes, Beth, very good. Pull away. Ah, come back here. Until it stops. And then pull forward until it's tight. And there, it curves right around. And end the stitch by going straight down. And with this longer needle, folks, I'm telling you, be very, very careful. This longer needle is incredibly sharp. I've been working with that dull one for 2 weeks, and now I have this nice sharp one, and I've poked my finger a couple of times. It's very sharp. Okay, so where am I going to start? Does anybody remember where I'm going to start? Judgment-free zone. Take a nail file, fill your dull needles. To dull your needle. Oh, I think I like it sharp. That dull one was giving me fits. So, okay, nobody's 1/3 of the way up the last coil. Yes, yes. Just enough to cup the end. Cup the last stick. There you go. Yes, that's exactly right. And get your head out of the way so you don't poke yourself. Figure out the length of your stitch that you want. Down at B. Come up at A. Now I have been, what have I been? Have I been coiling to the back? Or have I been coiling to the front? I wanted to show the opposite direction and I just don't even know. I've been coiling. Okay, I've been going around to the back. So let me show you that coming around to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 6, 7, 8. Pull away. till it stops. And then pull forward till it's tight. Oops, one of my coils got away from me. Which will happen, it's not a big deal. And then finish your knot, go straight down. And don't get caught on your other flower. There we go. Just enough to cup the end. Keep your face out of the way. I want my stitch to end there, go down at B, come up at A. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 looks good. Hey, stay down there. All right. Hi, Kim. Pull away till it's tight, till it stops. Pull away till it stops. And then pull forward till it's tight. And there's another round stitch. Another curved stitch. So, needle and thread. So, my friends, this image that I created that you can copy, if you want to take a snapshot of it now, you can, or you can copy it from my Facebook group or my community tab. No, that was what I just taught was the bullion stitch. What I taught last week was the cast on stitch, and it's a very different looking stitch. The cast on stitch is here. And the bullion stitch is here. It's very rounded. It looks like Shirley Temple curls. Looks like little Shirley Temple sausage curls. And this is very flat and twisted. Your cast on is very flat and twisted. This is just very round and curved. Marty, stop that! Oh my God. You little liar! That's it. You have to do 10 roses for me by next week. 10 of these little sausage roses for me by next week, and they have to be purple. That's your penance for telling a little fib. I don't know what the lazy cow stitch is, Beth, so I couldn't tell you. And just so you know, bullion is spelled B-U-L-L-I-O-N. Just so that you know for next time. I hate misspelling words, so I like it when people correct my misspellings. So that's how this stitch goes, and my hour is up, ladies and gentlemen. Like gold bullion, yes. B-U-L-L-I-O-N. I just did Billion and Lazy Cow. I don't know if Lazy Cow is the same thing or not, Beth. I've never even heard of the Lazy Cow stitch, and I haven't come across it in any of my research. Oh, Bullion, Lazy Cow. Okay, I get it. Okay. I am so behind the eight ball today. I am just so not behind the eight ball. That's the wrong term, but you know what I mean. I'm just so not. The bull yawns and is lazy. Yes, like a lazy cow. Better a lazy cow than a mad cow. There you go. Oh my God. I can't believe I didn't get that. I'm sorry, Beth. Oh, that's a good joke now that I get it. So I'll hold this up here again so you guys can take a screenshot of it if you want. Oh. Okay. But my time is up for tonight. I really have to go now. So, but before I go, I want to make sure, to let you know that if you have any questions, you can always message me or email me or whatever if you have any questions. I hope everybody understood and knows basically how to do the bud, which is way up here. The rosette, which is here, which is the almost open bud, and then the full rose is here. And then this is the stem stitch. Your stems are the stem stitch, but the satin stitch comes in with your thorns. If you want to do the thorns on your stem, do the little brown, just a little brown triangle satin stitch. And then your leaves again are the buttonhole leaf stitch, which I've reviewed like 3 times now. So you can just like replay last week or the weeks before videos. Lousy color chooser, but great teacher. Oh, and your internet went out. Well, Brenda, oh yeah, you got here just in time to. Oh, Kim, okay, now you have to do 10 bullion roses in beige as penance for calling me ma'am. You have to do them in beige. Oh, good night, Stacy. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for coming too, Stacy. Meow meow. Gag, yeah. Oh, Marty hates purple. Her penance is to do 10 roses in the bullion stitch in purple. Now Kim's got to do them in beige. Okay. Oh, that'll work, Brenda. That'll work. Well, thank you everybody for coming. I appreciate you all. Good, Pam. You're a good girl. I appreciate you all. Appreciate you, appreciate you, appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I hope I see you all again next week. Bye for now, meow.